Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Lowman02. I'm going to do a quick video, actually running with the Storm deck again. So the last match we watched was against myself and Johnny Rogue, with us winning over Jay Rogue on White Weenie. We've got 4 more matches, and actually, I think the improvements we made to the deck have made a marked increase in the performance of the Storm archetype or the Storm deck that we've got built for 100 card Singleton. The next one we'll cover is Chaos Black Doom. This is a very tight matchup because he's on red deck wins. So the first game I think we just get trounced. This is a reasonable keep, so we're on 2 lands. The Chain of Vapor. So like the tough thing with Storm is your strongest hand. So your strongest hands for the deck will never have Force of Will or Chain of Vapor in them. They're always going to have cards that get you further and further into the deck. They're going to have the combo cards. Chain of Vapor is really Chain of Vapor is an awesome card from the standpoint that in certain instances, generally in the late game when you're comboing off, this can generate a large storm count by allowing you to recast spells if you've run out of ways to untap your lands. Obviously, Force of Will just protects your combo, but it's not something you really want to see in your opener because you're not really using it. You're not really using it. You're using it proactively, not reactively. You're not trying to stop what the opponent's doing unless it's like something so bad you can't win. You're using it to protect your own things. That's really why it's in here. So we go wish you their luck. He plays a Spike Shot there. As far as turn 1 plays go for mono red or red deck wins, I'm not as upset about that. I see Goblin Bushwhacker come out, and I'm like, I briefly debate if I want to bounce this thing with Chain of Vapor, but, I don't. I think I opt instead, just so I can have 6. Get the Quicken. Really, we're starting the hunt for lands, is what we're doing. Past in Flames, not a bad draw. We take the damage there and put on the Nightscape Familiar. What we're thinking is we have to invest, and we don't know if he has it or not. He does, and he kills it, and it's at one of the it's probably the second best. I mean, the best is Searing Blaze if he plays on our land, but he has not. Bob is like a million miles away. We don't want to really cast that. We know he's got a bolt at this point, so we go ahead and get rid of the bolt, because that's all he can really cast right now. I think he can also cast the Dwarven Miner. Yeah, no, but he ends up hitting the land and then Flames of Bloodhead. We're kind of hoping for is if he passes the turn back. I don't even know. We draw High Tide, maybe. Even that's kind of weak. I don't know. Yeah, there's really not an ounce. We probably should have just packed it in. Okay, so game 2. So in this game, so we go into our board plan against red deck wins, which consists of, come on, Moto. So we go to our board plan, which consists of bringing in the Blast package, which is Flash Flood, Blue Elemental Blast, Hydro Blast, as well as the Madcap Experiment, or Experimentation, Madcap Experimentation, and the, what is that thing's name? Platinum Emperion. Which, if you're unfamiliar, and when we end up doing that, we take on our artifact package. So as you can see, we have Baleful Strike. We have all the artifacts in the sideboard right now. So let's go ahead and hide that. Plays on the Dwarven Miner. We go ahead and Telling Time in response to this. Find a Dark Blast. We don't want to waste 2 draw steps killing anything with the Dark Blast, though, so it's not really the best. We go ahead and leave our fetch land unfetched, and go ahead and Flash Flood this thing, just to buy some time. And we were planning on having to use our Diabolic Intent to get that Madcap, but really, our game plan had been get Madcap, and we draw Madcap. Luckily, it hadn't been the other half of the combo. If it had been, that would have been, pretty horrendous. We don't take Blue Elemental Blast here. What we're kind of thinking is let's get deeper in the deck. Let's look for that land drop, because, I really just want to hard cast this thing next turn, and now I've got to do a rebate. I do that very specifically. So the reason I want him to Searing Blaze or Searing Blood, my Nightscape Familiar, is because I know that I'm going to get an 8/8 off Madcap Experimentation. So, Searing Blood only does 2 damage. He could eventually kill it. So I wanted to waste his burn on something irrelevant like Nightscape Familiar, because that's not really what the game's about right now. I'm not trying to storm him off. I'm trying to combo him with Madcap, which actually Madcap Experimentation is not a bad. It buys you just tons of time. It's going to take them at a minimum 3 cards, unless they randomly have the artifact kill. He casts that, thinking we're getting something silly like Worm Coil Engine. No, we're not. We just have Platinum Emperion. And, just so you guys are tracking, Platinum Emperion with the card Madcap Experimentation, or Experiment, rather, is a combo that, Platinum Emperion could be the last card in my deck. And even if it was, I still take no damage. The Madcap Experimentation itself says reveal cards until you reveal an artifact, put it into play, and then take X damage, where X is the number of cards you look through to find it. but because your life total can't change, it's irrelevant. So, you know, more questionable play. We do attack into the Withering Stigma Lasher, you know, making our Platinum Emperion more vulnerable to 3 damage removal, 2 to 3 damage removal. But we kind of, you know, are looking at our hand. We're like, yeah, let's just get the beats on. I mean, if we continue to beat on him, it's going to force him to have answers really fast. And because we've hit the Dark Blast and are just recursing it with our cantrips, um, we're really able just to clear his board. So he's never going to get into a situation where he can block with a creature and then use a 3 damage burn spell afterwards to get rid of this thing. He's going to have to burn 2 cards from hand, which when he's down to 1, he just can't win. Okay, so that was game 2 with us winning. The Storm, in this case, the Madcap Experimentation Platinum Emperion combo. This is a very land-heavy hand, but it's fine. And you see, actually, this hand pairs up pretty well. I think our opponent gets fairly lucky this game. Well, you just get a very specific draw. And he's obviously on the play as well. I think on the draw, we win this game every time. And, you know, that's kind of what it comes down to sometimes against red deck wins. Is, I mean, you get to draw or you get to play. So we go ahead and Manamorphose, generating blue, black. Go ahead and Tainted Pact. I believe we end up finding our Snapcaster, which gives us flexibility with Blue Elemental Blast. It's not a very creature-heavy draw, it appears, so I want the ability to block 1 and then kill the other with Blue Elemental Blast, just to buy time. Because I have a Mystical Teachings, which is going to eventually find a High Tide. My plan is to find High Tide with it. You know, and it's a very powerful card. I mean, so like if I get High Tide, I have 4 islands in play. I can generate a whole boatload of mana. Plus, I have the Dark Petition. I have Poetic Ritual plus Seething Song, which will allow me to recurse mystical teachings as well, which would probably give me store count. So the way I'm looking at this game right now is if I get the turn back, if I live to my next turn, and the opponent cannot kill me this turn, I'm gonna win. And when we see him go to end step, we crack the land. I got it. It goes down to 4, but there's only 1 spell he could cast. Well, correction, 2 spells he could cast at this point that would kill us in red deck wins. One of them is Lightning Bolt, which is already in his graveyard. The other one is Shard Volley, which actually we talked to the opponent about. He doesn't even run. And then Fire Blast at instant speed. So, I mean, because he could shock us. There's a bunch of shocks that do 2 damage at instant speed, but all the other 3 damage spells or 4 damage spells are either free in Fire Blast or cost 2 mana to do 3 damage. So I feel like I have to fetch there. I'm playing to win. I mean, I guess like I could have waited for him to do that and hoped he made a mistake. But I mean, if he's smart, he's never going to pop that thing. He's just going to wait and attack in again. And then when I cast Mystical Teachings to get I don't know what to stop this, like he's just going to kill me with it. It's not really a counterspell deck. You know, so maybe the psychic play was to wait. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess the psychic play was to wait and then use like the Badlands and like an island to make a bunch of red mana, and then use off of Pyretic Ritual, make 5 red mana off the 3 red mana, cast the Mystical Teachings, leaving mana up. But at that point, he's probably just gonna send it in our face anyways. You know, or maybe there's a way. Maybe our draw, depending on what our draw was, maybe we could have like gotten like a Dark Ritual, so that we could have cast, so that we could egg him into casting the Fire Blast in response to the Dark Petition after casting all the rituals, and then cast Mystical Teachings in response to the Fire Blast to get like Pact of Negation. That seems pretty bad to me. Yeah, this man has not been winnable. But like I said, if he passes it back, we're gonna win the game. So the logic behind the Fact or Fiction is that all we need is a black mana. Well, really a black or a red mana. What we're looking to do is start the red mana train with the Poetic Ritual and Seething Song, but I also require 2 black mana for Dark Petition. So I can start that as well, and then convert it basically over into 3 black mana and fix myself on black mana. And then utilize Mystical Teachings off of the red mana generated through Seething Song, Pyretic Ritual, to find, you know, some sort of untap capability, or, you know, actually, I'm sorry, not even that. The Dark Petition gets Past in Flames, and then Mystical Teachings gets an untap spell, you know, Turnabout. And then, you know, we're going to win next turn because once we have our whole graveyard and, like, 2 tutors in it, 1 that makes mana, 1 that costs 2, we'll be able to win. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, we get Fire Blasted out. If we had not, we definitely had this one. So the next one is against Sensei Rob, and I believe he's on like a Boros Blitz deck, I want to call it. And it looks a lot like mono red or red deck wins, but it's a little slower. So we see a Figure Destiny, and we're thinking at this point like, hey, he's probably on just red deck wins. I believe we top that guy. He's a body that can block, and two, he just makes he's essentially like the answer to Thalia. He's the counter to Thalia. Play out the Baleful Strix so we can block if he sends both in. We block the Kelp Marauders anyways. I mean, it's just that thing is 5 damage for 2 mana if you don't block it. I don't need the Baleful Strix that badly. He pumps his little guy to 2/2. Ends up playing on a Chandra if I'm not mistaken. Kills our Goblin Electromancer because we have a rebate on the Tainted Pact. Cast it out. And I believe we end up finding. Let's see, yeah. Maybe not Mana Flare. Yeah, we get Peer Through Depths. Peer Through Depths is an awesome card in this deck. I mean, it essentially is like 1/2. It's like a fixed. Well, it was like an earlier but a more fixed version of what's it called? Dig Through Time. Is kind of how I look at it. I mean, obviously you can't get everything. It only gets spells, but that's generally what we want. We take Sea Beyond. This is a recent add to the deck. I've loved it. There's very few cards that allow you to take cards from your hand and put them back in your library. And it can be very relevant, especially if you're on like an Infernal Tutor draw and have too many lands. All right, so we go ahead through the motions of making all the mana. Just make a whole slew of it. Go ahead and Cabal Ritual, Seething Song again, Tainted Pact. I believe we find that right there, Dark Petition. Make black mana, find the drills, and then that's good for the win. The next one, and actually I think it was one short, but on the following turn I could have recursed it. So Duress, we hit the Chandra. His hand does not have a lot of action. He's got a Flame Javelin, his Grim Lava Mancer, and we just nerfed his Chandra. So we play out the Bob and force him to have an answer or cast his Flame Javelin on it. He casts Banishing Light on it, which he just drew either this turn or the turn prior. We go ahead and cast out our Mana Flare because we know he's on an action light hand, and if he wants to, this benefits us right now because he has very few action cards or cards that'll kill us in hand. We just cast it. I mean, Flame Javelin's fine. He could have cast it anyways, and he probably would have. It looks like he's continued to draw more lands. We go ahead and Forbidden Alchemy, find the Frantic Surge, because right now we're really after getting more lands out. The Dark Petition is enticing, but we don't have the lands to cast it. We don't have the, we're not there yet. And what we're looking to do once we find the Infernal Tutor is dump our hand and go about it that route. So we snap, I believe, conducting another Frantic Search, which will allow us to get very close down to Infernal Tutor. We opt to keep the Meditate over the Cabal Ritual and Augur Bolus, really just to build Storm count up. We draw the Massacre, which is kind of a brick here because he's like on a Boros deck, but miraculously does not have a mountain, or I'm sorry, plains. Mystical Tutor, I believe, finding Tide. Then we cast out our Infernal Tutor for the, or correction, I'm sorry, the Past in Flames, cast the Dark Ritual, then Turnabout after Tide's been cast. And one thing here, I mean, we could have cast High Tide again. We really just need to get to this point. So we were in one of those weird storm piles where, like, we could hit 7, 8 really easily. But then, and since I hope you didn't think it was trolling, but it's like we were in one of those weird piles where you hit 7 or 8, but in order to get back around by using Past in Flames, we had to go to like 14, 15. I may have missed like one where I could have made it a little simpler. But yeah, I hope it didn't come off as like a more convoluted line than it had to be. But and I'd have to probably look at it a little harder. But this line ended up working. It's the one we saw that could work. So this is the first game against Sensei. The second game against Sensei, I believe we put the Madcap Experiment in here just to see, because I mean, like, he's got white too, and I see is this the same game? I apologize, folks. We already played the first game. All right, well, we did this in reverse. That was the second game. I don't believe we watched the first. Yeah, no, we have. Okay, I guess it's already the game that I was Sensei. I thought could have swore it was 3 rounds. Okay, so anyways, the next one is against myself and Sugar Daddy. He's on like a BANT. He's on like a BANT hexproof deck. It's like a mix between Heroic and Boogles. That's what I would call it. So we keep this. It's a pile. Like, this is a junky hand. We're really hoping to use the sleight of hand to look at our top 2, find a land this turn so we can portent this turn after having made our land drop, and then fix our draws for the next 3 draw steps. And then, or next 2, and then use Peer to like reset it. Not a good keep. It's very greedy. But I figure, game 1, I'm going to give it a shot, see how it does. Find a Tide, good card, but we don't have lands, so I mean, it doesn't really do anything. Find a Pact, and we're just getting punished. So we take the Bloodstained Mire, but the problem with Portent, it was why we're really banking on Sleight of Hand to do the job for us, is Portent's not going to give me that card until the beginning of his upkeep, which does me no good because I'm not making my land drop that turn. I believe we go ahead and Peer here, I want to say. No, we save it. We save it. And you know why? Because I think we're looking to do a fast storm count. We have the Cloud of Fae. We have the High Tide. We're thinking we're going to need all the spells we can get in one turn. So we actually managed to get a decent storm count up here. But unfortunately, the Unflinching Courage is gaining a lot of life, and we're not really able to get there anyways. As you can see, Tide can just make a ridiculous amount of mana. It's a silly card. Put both of us on the bottom. We draw something we can probably never cast. We go ahead and, I believe, cast the Rain and Filth. Then cast out the Dark Petition. The problem is like, we just don't have enough Storm. When we stopped the Dark Petition, we would have been at 8, with the Frantic Search going to 9. And we could have cast Tendrils at that point, but we know we just don't have enough Storm. And I mean, I guess we could try to play the game out, but I mean, when he's got a 6/6 lifelink Trampler in play, even if I knock him down to like 18, I don't think my deck on 2 lands, well, I guess a 3rd land now, but I can't play it until next turn, is going to be able to get to like a Time Spiral and win this thing. Especially when I generally tend to figure that in 5 cards, he probably has like 1 or 2 more enchantments. And with Ethereal Armor, like each enchantment is just more of a beating. Plus, he's drawing an extra card every turn. I believe this thing has Trample, so even if I block with my silly fairies, it's not going to do anything. So we just die horribly, but it was a greedy keep. So we kind of weren't shocked. Great hand. So 3-lander, we have the ability to fix with Verdant Catacombs, and we'll kind of like wait to play that. So if he has a Wasteland, he's not going to get us until we can kind of also see what we draw. We're going to play the Young Pyromancer. This game actually becomes more of a creature-based kill. Like I guess he kind of gives up because of the Pyromancer, but we were capable, at the point in time he concedes, we were capable of killing a Storm as well. And we actually kind of plan on killing with Storm. It's our primary win con. So he passes it back, which is not good. We end up casting this thing to get back the Impulse. Impulse is a busted card. Take the Strategic Planning, cast that on, I believe, getting the Ponder here, because we're just looking for win cons at this point. Because right now we just have a bunch of draw. He cast this thing on his creature, and I'm like, kind of wondering, like, why are you doing that? And you know, I end up because like I'm just like, hey, and we got a win con as well. I'm like, hey, we got a snap. Like, I don't really need it here. Like, I mean, it's fine to make more mana once I'm on a Tide turn, but like, why don't I just bounce that thing and kill him with just 1/1s and 2/1s? It's probably faster, to be honest. It's probably about the same speed. But as you can see, I mean, we can use a Pyromancer to pretty good effect. The card is not out of its element in this deck. And I guess he has something else, and he just he packs it in, or he can't. We went wide enough that he couldn't stop us. Okay, so game 3 in this first match. And this one right here is not a bad hand. So like I have the Nightscape Familiar, I have the Sea Beyond, which my thinking is like I'll be able to get rid of one of the clunkers and then draw on a land. I hit a land right off the top, which is awesome. See his hand. He's mulled down to 6. Thalia Heretic Cathar is the only action he's got in hand. He's cast a Brainstorm, which I assume means he's Brainstorm locked himself at this point, and only has the 1 Thalia, plus a Keen Sense, which is essentially Curiosity in green. The rest of it's all land, including that Ancient Tomb. Just not a good hand at all. He'd probably need to mull again. You know, I think he needed to mull one more time. We snap that, just start making mana like madmen. Cast out the Rain of Filth, the Candelabra, and then we Tendrils him down to 2. Swing in with our Nightscape Familiar. We know his hand has no creature in it. He would have played it down by now. And we knew he had no action outside of Keen Sense, which, I mean, I don't think he's going to cast Keen Sense on one of my creatures. So we're going to attack him with the Nightscape, put him to 1. We've already turned off his Ancient Tomb, so he's on 3 mana, a 4th, he has a 4th in hand. But he has to cast 2 cards, which are not viable for him to have to deal with both of my threats. I mean, I guess Wrath of God is a thing, but now even that he can't cast with Ancient Tomb in play. So that's kind of why we go over that line. I was chatting with him. I'm like, yeah, it was probably a turn early, but I mean, I figured, you know, why give you the chance for now? I'll put it so you can't use your mana on your turn. I guess you can cast like Gideon or something silly, but I mean, not at this point. So That's what kind of our decision cycle was. It's like, hey, we're not going to kill him this turn, but we can burn him out really low and then make it untenable for him to win and have the ability to win with just one flyer next turn attacking over the top. So game 3, this game, actually, if this is the same game, I'm sorry, actually, we just watched this one. This is the last one of that round. So we take game 1 against Sugar Daddy, and then we play a secondary, or match 1. We play a second match against Shug. And I believe in this first one we end up losing again. But he has a pretty busted draw. So he has a Bogle, the Chrome Mox. And what we end up doing here is we Chain of Vapor that thing. Because we wanted to waste cards. Like, if he's going to be fast, like, he's not going to have options. It's kind of what my thinking is. Because my hand's not quick. And we ended up taking our win con. I don't know if that's right or not. I mean, there's a couple other cantrips in there, but I'm like, I feel like I can get there on cantrips. Like, I feel like it's going to be harder to get win cons. He's not on black, so he can't discard it. Seed Enlightened Tutor, I believe he picks up, this silly thing. Daybreak Coronet, which now this thing's a 4/4 lifelink, which is going to make it a little more challenging for us to win. Pick up a Scalding Tarn. And our plan is here to get, to Mystical Teachings and, find fast mana. Probably High Tide, I think, is what we look at. Yeah. So we go ahead and Cloud of Fae, make more black mana, which we believe we're going to need. Cast a Seething Song, get the Tainted Pact, and then we just start looking. And really, like, I don't think there's a card. We need to be up on our higher on cards. We need more mana. We need more cards. I think we go for Frantic Search. Is what we end up going for. It's not great. Yeah. So go for Frantic Search, ditch the land, and the Tendrils, actually. So, like, I think that was the right play, ditching the Tendrils. At this point, really the only way we win this turn is if we can hit... Well, now we can't hit it, but if we could hit, Snapcaster. Let me make sure we haven't exiled it. I think it's Snapcaster. Snap, CB on, slight, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So Snapcaster's gone. What we really need is, like, Cantrip and Noxious Revival. Maybe you could have gotten there. It was a challenging pile. There's not a way to win. But that is a pretty quick draw. I mean, getting a Daybreak Coronet on an uncounterable, unblockable creature, I mean, it's just miserable. See Invisible Stalker, so he's at it again. He's got his uncounterable, well, not uncounterable, but hexproof guys that can't be blocked. We see a Journey to Nowhere, so, hey, he found some removal. Which I'm fine with, because if I recall correctly, we actually win this game with, what's it called? Laboratory Maniac. So we find the Mystical Teachings, which is awesome, because we can cast it this turn on his end step, or if he attempts to remove our Nightscape Familiar, we let him hit us. We're not interested in using our mana to regenerate the Nightscape Familiar. We do recognize that it regenerates, though. He casts out that silly thing, which has the ability to get huge. We'll go ahead and cast our Mystic Teachings. Utilize the Dark Ritual, do a turnabout on all of our lands. Then I believe cast a Cloud of Fae. No, we cast the Dark Petition first. Doomsday. The Doomsday pile. So the problem we run into is we're too short on lands right now. We haven't hit our... let me pull it up. Well, wait for Moto to unfreeze. It takes it a minute for it to do this. So we're a little too short on mana right here. And we also need the draw, because our primary drawing is going to be a 3-mana spell, and we're already light on mana. So this ends up being a 2-turn pile. And we end up playing out the Labman, and then we have the Visions of Beyond on top. It really came out of fixing, not having the red fixing, having to get the black fixing, and just missing that one additional card made it really weird. So there was a huge time glitch in Moto right here. So we pass it back. He attacks in, enchants up the Grace Blade Artisan, and we have to block, and we go down to 1. And when he passes it back, It's funny because if you go to the log, Sugar Daddy passes it back to us, and this is Sugar Daddy's 6th turn. It is now his 7th. Sugar Daddy casts Gift of Orzhova, targeting. So as soon as he casts Gift of Orzhova, which you can read it, enchanted creature gets +1/+1 as flying. Spirit Mantle gets +1/+1. Nowhere on any of these cards does it say that like anyone gets extra turns. So there's some random glitch. I don't know what the combination of cards were, or what the game, like the specific component of the game state that made this happen. But he finishes attacking me, attaches this Gift of Orzhova, and then, or correction, finishes attacking me with his 5/6 with just the Spirit Mantle on it. And then it goes right into his turn 7. We don't get our turn 7. Like, see, as you can see, we're still tapped out. So you can tell we never even got a turn. It was like a time walk was cast. It's not like we F6 through it because our lands have never untapped. We never drawn our card for the turn, which will just happen automatically, even if I F6. Our top card. So, I mean, we talked to him. We're like, hey, dude, like, you lost. Like, if you can't kill the Laboratory Maniac here, you lost. I'll guarantee you I have a Visions of Beyond in my hand, and I also have a Gataxian Probe on top of my deck. So, you know, show me a removal spell, you know, or else you lost. I mean, there's no reason that you should win this one. On that, that's kind of a silly way to win on a glitch. So we end up taking it. I mean, we're pretty lucky, you know, because we had a crappier pile, but like the cards in our available mana pool didn't really lend themselves to very much. Yeah, we just played this one out. I think, did we miss game 2? Yes, we missed game 2. I apologize. That was the game 3. That was the one with the glitch in it. This game 2 is more of a lopsided match in our favor, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he cast an investment spell, which I'm fine with. We cast a Mansurround. He's on an Ancestral Visions draw, which more and more I come off that card. Like in a deck like this, like the Storm deck, it's not in there anymore. It's too slow. 4 turns is way too much for this deck to wait, and like you can't really. It's like Aether Vial. Can you really bank on that thing being your opening draw? I mean, when it is, it's epic. When it's not, it's junk. Like it just takes way too long. That's why you hear me say I'm like playing Grix, just like, oh yeah, I'll never see that thing again. Because the game will either be over, I'll have so much control that it'll be a win more card. You know, like it doesn't do like things for me right now. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we Doomsday here. I believe get something like a Dark Ritual. Oh, correction. No, this is not a Tendrils kill. This is going to be a Meditate. Meditate. You know, so it is a Dark Ritual pile. It's Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal, Meditate, Mental Note, Lab Man, and I believe that's it. So yeah, we Lab Man him out this game. The game doesn't get very far. He's had 4 turns. We've had, this is our 5th. And we just get him with this combo. He's tapped out. We're like, all right, let's go for it. And actually, funny enough, if we wanted to, we could have stacked the Storm pile. If we want to put a more mana heavy pile as opposed to like Laboratory Maniac, we could have stormed him out this turn as well. So those are 4 more matches with the Storm deck. I think, you know, some of the energy we put into it, I think time away from the deck and kind of getting to reflect on it a bit, and going back and doing some critical changes. Like, and really it was only like 4 or 5 changes in the deck. But as soon as like I changed them, or I saw the change need to be made, it was glaringly obvious, and the deck just ran a whole heck of a lot better. So this format is 100 card singleton. Again, say 100 card singleton. It is played competitively in a player-run event, so it's not MTGO supported. If you're interested in playing this format specifically, though, please go to gatherling.com and go ahead and check out the Chainsaw Massacre. So, you know, myself and a few other folks, we play every Saturday between 3:30 Eastern Standard Time or 15:30 Eastern Standard Time until complete every Saturday. It's a great format. The archetypes and the viability of builds is very wide open. Like, this is one of the decks that I don't think anyone has ever tried to play in 100 card. And I've kind of, you know, made it a personal quest to see if I can make the thing run. And I think we're getting closer and closer every day. The other big eureka has been obviously the Madcap Experiment and the Platinum Emperion. Like, you know, I lost him on our red deck wins. Very close match. The third game, really, it was down to one. He had to have it one out to kill me that turn, which was the Fire Blast. Really, Red Deck Wins tends to be a 4-turn deck or a turn 4 deck, and it's not like we weren't disrupting him. I mean, we had sucked down a lightning bolt for him to kill one of our kill our snapcaster, as well as destroyed his 3/3 haste. With a flash flood. So we disrupted, and I think that was a higher variance draw favoring him. Had we gotten the pass back of the turn, I think we won that. And like just getting to cast Madcap Experimentation and see a Platinum Emperion come out against Red Deck Wins, I don't think I've had much of a better feeling. I mean, I don't know what they do against an 8/8. I mean, yeah, they have Artifact 8, but not a lot of it. Generally, most of their stuff is aimed at the brisket. So a very cool deck. I don't think there's any. Actually, I don't think I've seen anyone else run a deck like this, but very fun, very challenging build. And I hope if any of these videos interest you, you'll join us on Saturdays, and you can try out some 100 card. Additionally, if you're in Gatherling, if you go to the CSM or Chainsaw Massacre link, there should be a link over to MTG Salvation, where there is our forum, blogging space, and you kind of be able to talk to some of the players or see any of the decks that have done well, as well as see those in Gatherling. And if you see any of the players that I'm playing, like Sugar Daddy, ML Berlin, the actual host of the event, Michelle Wong, Sensei Rob, Johnny Rogue, they're all very affectionate for this format. It would definitely give you games. So I hope you enjoyed the videos and have a great day.